It was 3 years ago when reports first emerged that children in Kentucky's foster care system were sometimes sleeping in offices or other non-traditional settings. A report released this week by the Kentucky Auditor and Ombudsman offices reviewed just over 300 cases of foster children being placed in a non-traditional setting like an office building, state park, hotel, or even hospital between January 2023 and October 2024. And as recent as the week prior to the report's release, Auditor Allison Ball says there are still children in Kentucky's foster care system sleeping in office buildings. Ball says just over half of these cases are kids with serious behavioral issues that are often difficult to find a place for in the system. Some examples alleged in the report include spotty record keeping for distributing medications, lack of suicide-safe design for suicidal kids, and concerning runaway cases. Ball says the report outlines both immediate and long-term solutions.
There's just a reality to, if you're going to have to build facilities, you're going to have to contract with providers. It's going to take time to do things like that. But these conversations have been going on for a while now, and my concern is that if we don't really get serious about doing something on this, it's just going to continue.
In a statement, a spokesperson for Governor Beshear writes, the auditor is once again prioritizing political games rather than delivering accurate information to the public. It goes on to say the report was released before CHFS was ever given an opportunity to review or respond, adding this means the report is likely to include significant errors and inaccuracies, just like the auditor's recent presentation under oath to a House committee. Representative Camuel, I want to start here with you. What was your reaction to the report and some of the reaction you may have heard from some Democratic colleagues on this? This was not really good news for the administration.
No, it wasn't good news. And here's one thing that I will say. I want to make sure that everybody knows that kids are not political, and we shouldn't be politicizing this this system. Fundamentally and systemically across the country, foster care systems are failing our kids. It's not unique to Kentucky. I would like to see us be the first state to actually fully fund it and make sure that we are providing kids with warm, safe beds, that we have enough social workers, and to make sure that we are doing all the things that we are supposed to and addressing the issues. And one of the things that I've looked into is trying to figure out why are our numbers going up? Like, what is happening, and why don't we have enough people opening their doors, providing these homes for kids? But you look at the drug epidemic that we are dealing with, and we have so many kids that fall into the system for that, as well as affordability, cost of living. There are times when families just simply can't afford it anymore. So I think if we're going to address the problem, we as legislators need to fund the system. We need to bring in more social workers. We need to make sure that we are providing access to health care. We need to make sure that we are addressing the needs that Kentuckians have. It all goes back to affordability at this point, and to make sure that we are providing for the people that we are supposed to serve. It is heartbreaking when we hear the stories, but overall the system across the country is not good, and I think we have the ability and the opportunity to really address the issue and really put our money where our mouths are.
Representative Roberts, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that the findings of that report demonstrates that our foster care system is entirely unacceptable. 81% of these children, we don't even have documentation about whether they were getting their needed medicine, needed therapy, and these are children with physical illnesses. These are mental illnesses as well. I mean, the catastrophic consequences of this is outrageous to me. And to this notion that the cabinet didn't have adequate time to respond or review this report, they had more than enough time to review this issue. They've had 3 years ever since it came out that our children are sleeping in office buildings, and it's still happening. We have sat down with the cabinet, asked them what laws need to be changed, what type of funding needs to be there. In their proposals in the 2024 budget, we gave them every penny they asked for regarding the foster care system. We have an implementation problem, and action needs to be taken. It needs to be done, legislative and executive branch. This should be something that no one's accusing those who are identifying this problem of playing political games. So this is about our children. We're in agreement.
We're working on a new budget right now, so is there anything that y'all are aware of that is in that current proposal that can help what we're seeing happen right now, or is it going to take a little bit more?
I think it's going to take a little bit more time. The budget bill, as you know, is in the Senate at the moment, so we're waiting to see everything that comes back, and we're going to really, we're kind of in a wait and see mode, and then everything will go, or the bill will go to free conference. I'm pretty confident.
Typically, yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that's where it's going to go. But you know, again, I wish that this problem, like children sleeping in offices, was unique to Kentucky, and it's not. Universally, as a country, we have failed our kids that are in the foster system, and I want to make sure that and actually I have to say, Rep. Roberts and I have a fairly good relationship and can talk about things, and I want to make sure that we communicate and try to do all that we can. We all want the same thing. We want betterment for the kids. We want to make sure that they have a warm roof over their head, warm bed to sleep in, food on the table, access to health care, and high quality public education.
Yeah. With the budget bill, it's in the Senate right now, and I agree procedurally that in all likelihood that's what's going to happen. So I'm definitely keeping my eyes on this. I want to see to it that enough action is taken to ensure that the money that we do spend does go toward addressing this problem, because I don't think any person in their right mind can look at this and say the way the system is operating right now is anywhere close to acceptable.
We only got a few seconds left here. Since this report has come out, and just from what y'all are hearing in your respective positions, how much has this situation changed from 2024, the dates that this particular report focused on, that y'all are aware of?
I'm going to be honest, I don't know that it has changed much, but that is not me throwing stones or anything. We were in the biennium, the current budget, and Rep. Roberts is right, it was funded, they spent the funds as needed, but it's not enough. And I think we owe it, the legislators owe it to kids and the foster families that are taking them in, to make sure that we are providing them with everything that they need. So we're going to have to fund it. It's incumbent on us.
Last word on this, Representative Roberts.
I wish that I could say that this is just a one-off situation. It's not. I wish there was more collaboration between the executive branch and the legislative branch of these matters, because this is not the first time that we've appropriated the exact amount of money asked for specific programs, and the problems that they said this would solve the problem, ultimately it gets squandered and you don't get the solution. I think back to September or August, whenever the senior meals program came out. We gave them the exact dollar amount they asked for. They said in the Legislative Oversight and Investigations Committee under oath that they knew that dollar amount they asked for was not going to be sufficient for that year. I wish there was more transparency and a greater ability for them to come to us about what they need and what they're going to do in order to ensure that the needs of our most vulnerable citizens are met.
Appreciate there's some bipartisan agreement here. We all want good outcomes for these kids.